Alright, very interesting day today. I did talk to the DJI support on the phone and it's gonna be an interesting one. I may as well start with something more lighthearted. Apparently here we're having problems with like counterfeit money, like counterfeit $20 bills. So for those who aren't in Canada, this is what a $20 bill looks like. And you would assume, like, for the most part, like counterfeit bills, if it's really that newsworthy, then it'd be something really high tech, like really hard to tell without like a machine or anything, right? Well, this is why I didn't know if it was a joke or not. So look at this. This is apparently the counterfeit bill. It has like Chinese writing on it. So if you can't tell the difference between this and a real one, I don't know. Makes me wonder how you would even try to pass that off if you were someone trying to scam another business. A limited edition print job in Canada? Yeah, it seems like there's way less ducks now. Alright, so now on to this crazy gimbal saga. In some cases, I still don't know if it's real. I'm still waiting for the director to yell cut. Because again, some of them I can't believe if that's actually literally how the company is operating in some ways. So as you guys may remember, yesterday I was contacted by phone. The person left a voicemail, which I wasn't able to get. But essentially they were telling me it was something just with the IMU, so they had to replace it. And I still want clarification, like, you know, what exactly is wrong. So I decided to contact the number because he told me in the voicemail he was going to give me like a specific direct line. But with the email they gave me, it was pretty generic. It actually had the generic tech support number. So with that, by the looks of it, if you ever want to contact the support by phone, it's basically on your own dollar if you have to phone in. But the good news is I can actually phone unlimited to the US for free. That's just part of my phone plan, so at least that part is good. But I can imagine for people who don't have that, you'd be paying a lot of money. So I literally had to wait about 10 minutes or so to get an actual person to come on the phone. So again, in that sense, no worries. I'm not losing any money per se, just the time in general, which people could argue is money, but you know, you get the point. So eventually somebody did answer the phone, and I basically started by explaining this person contacted me about my gimbal, and I basically wanted some clarification. I gave, you know, specifically the person's specific name because to my understanding, he said he was supposed to be my direct line of communication now. But as I explained it to the customer service, he basically said, well, that guy's busy right now, so I'll take care of it instead. And as he asked, like, what is my problem? And I basically explained, like, well, the gimbal doesn't start up and all that. And he actually said, okay, let me give you, like, all these procedures to run through. Like, I'm going to give you instructions and follow this first. That went on actually for 2 minutes at first. I was like, you have it in your hands. And then afterwards, like, what? Okay, now I get it. I was like, oh my goodness. Again, I can imagine if I wasn't phoning in, like in terms of having the free plan to phone the US, I'd be pretty frustrated because all the money I'd be losing there. So that was actually the first troublesome kind of situation because I already, like when I phoned in, I explained this person like specifically. Second, like, you know, the issue, they didn't even bother like looking at the account to see what's going on. That's the immediate response. So in many ways it feels like when you're phoning in, like you're a burden and they have like a template response as opposed to actually seriously sitting down and realizing, okay, let's see what's going on here and let me help you. That's usually, from my experience, that's how it should be when you phone into a customer service and all that. But with that, I just laughed it off because hey, whatever, nobody's perfect. Maybe it's just having a bad day or something like that. But then came the part about asking questions about what's wrong with it, and at first he just repeated the same thing, saying something about the IMU is damaged for whatever reason and they have to replace it. And since in his mind, like in the whatever, by the text of what's written, since it's only covered for 6 months, like quote gimbal, then I have to pay for it. So at first I started with, well, what exactly is wrong like with it? Like how did it even get to that place in the first place, just from like flying? And the general answer was they don't really know. It could be because of like, you know, just the way it is, like manufacturer wear out or whatever, but either way, like you just have to pay for it because it's out of warranty. So in general, the attitude that I got anyways, it's the same thing. You look at it, it doesn't start up, they don't even bother really like checking it out. It's just out of warranty, pay me money, and then I'll look at it. That's the impression I got personally anyways. That then led me to talk about things like, well, if I don't know what's going on, how can I guarantee it's not going to happen again? I mean, is that what they expect? Like the thing to wear out like that fast or whatever, like within the 6 months? And so we started to talk about warranties in general because for the price, for example, I said, why doesn't this Mavic Pro, like the drone, have a 1-year labor warranty? I mean, that's pretty standard, isn't it? When you have a 1-year warranty for an aircraft, all the labor and stuff should be like included. So then he started to talk about, well, every part has a different warranty on the Mavic Pro. So with that, basically that's why it's not covered. But again, I brought back the point like, yeah, but if the craft has a 1-year warranty, why isn't that covered in the labor? And for the most part, we just kept going in circles about that. And eventually I just asked straight up, does this aircraft have absolutely no warranty? Like when it comes to the whole craft in general in terms of labor. And he's like, correct. So that's the answer. The Mavic Pro has absolutely no warranty as a whole. They basically priced it or made it in such a way where every individual part has a different warranty on it. I mean, I'm actually curious in hearing what other people feel about this, because for me, when a manufacturer says 1 year warranty, I assume that means, you know, the thing is covered with labor. Even if individual parts, like, I'm just making this up, but like, for example, like say buying a computer, even if you say the accessories are only covered for 90 days, if the whole computer in general for something is wrong, like that should be covered as part of the labor. That's how it's always been for me anyways, when I get customer service for like tech stuff. I mean, at the same time, things like a warranty or extra service should be more about covering more. Like there, for example, if the accessory is only covered for 90 days, then that extended warranty will cover you, you know, for like a year now. But to say like the whole aircraft in general doesn't have any type of labor warranty, that doesn't make sense. Especially you have to test it for errors and everything like that. I mean, what's the point? You might as well advertise it, in my opinion, saying that's not even an extended warranty, for example, like that service plan. It is the warranty if you want any kind of like service for that, in a sense, because that's a little weird when you tie it down to like individual accessories as opposed to having something like the whole aircraft as a whole. Funny thing, I was actually trying to find like the warranty pamphlets for like the from the instruction manual and stuff, and I actually had a hard time like actually trying to find it. I actually had to go to the site to see it, so it made me wonder if I missed something before when I bought it. But even when I saw like in their forums, there's people that say, yeah, it has like a 1 year warranty, it should be covered. I mean, am I being unreasonable there? Like, for example, he even said like the other main components, like for the most part, minus those specific ones, are covered for a year. So if a lot of your time basically after installing this is to test it to make sure it flies and everything like that, shouldn't that be covered? Like, why should you get charged for the labor for that? It should be included. It doesn't make sense to me. So then came the part where I couldn't believe what I was hearing, because like I said before, one of the reasons why I want to know what happened is it going to happen again? Because so many people have the same issue. So am I going to pay for this, for example? You send it back and it's going to have the same issue over and over again. And for the most part, like I even asked him, like, would you like that? Like if that happened, for example, like with that uncertainty where I send it in for repair, you send it back, you don't know why it happened. And he, you know, he agreed. So basically what he said was he was going to escalate the case again to the highest level. So it's going up to the next step. Because this was actually one of the most troublesome thing he said to me, and was what I basically worried about. I said, for example, like I read in the warranty was when they replace or repair something, it's based on the original warranty. So the fact that I bought the Mavic Pro back, like, you know, when it launched, even if they repair this gimbal right now and they send it back, I actually have no gimbal warranty because it's expired already. And again, to make sure for all of you who are doing like a double take, for example, like what, did I hear that right? I asked him 3 times and he gave me different scenarios. So I'll give you like the scenarios that he gave me just for clarification. So imagine this scenario. Let's say something in the aircraft is only good for 6 months, like the warranty. Something went wrong within 3 months, okay? So when you send it back to them, since you're within the covered period, apparently, you know, they'll send it back, they'll replace it, you're covered, no problem. If it breaks like within 2 months, technically that's 5 months now, so hopefully you're still with me, it's still covered. Now let's say they sent the gimbal back for some reason, there was an error again, and you sent it back and you had only 1 day remaining in your warranty. So then when they fix that, they send it back. Even if they send back you like a bad product, since your warranty is expired, they won't cover it afterwards. Again, I asked the guy 3 times to make sure I was hearing this correctly. So basically, if I paid you all the money right now, you quote fixed it and you sent it back to me, let's say something happens within 1 or 2 months, like, I don't know, again, for some reason it's still not working, then you're telling me I won't be covered. And he goes, that is correct. Again, that's the part where I said, okay, can a director say cut already? Like, this isn't real, is it? I mean, anyone else, feel free to chime in. Am I being unreasonable and saying no way should that be acceptable? If you're expecting me right now to pay for something like that, and you give me absolutely no type of guarantee, warranty, or an explanation or anything like that, it could just break just as easily for whatever reason that we don't know, That's unacceptable in my opinion. That's just mind-boggling. Man, at this point, I think the only way to get this taken seriously and really looked at, like regardless of what's written on the piece of paper, because it just doesn't make sense, is to contact like who's the founder of DJI, like a Frank Wang or something. It's like the only way to get like some kind of real logical solution and service for this right now is to say, is this the company that you envision in the future in terms of the customer service and in terms of like guarantee and services? Right, so at this point, that's where we're at. It got escalated again. At this point, I feel like I should be invoicing DJI for my secret shopper services and reporting all this. My goodness, a customer should not have to go through this stuff. I was thinking too, to put it in perspective, it actually makes a lot of sense for everyone else that was saying, like, even though they had the service plans or whatever, they sent the drone back, like, say 3 times and things still weren't solved. I mean, if that's true in terms of the way they treat the warranty and all that, it makes sense because there's no kind of incentive to actually make sure the thing is right. Like when they get it out, it's just like, okay, quickly replace this, like let's just get it over with. He only has like 1 day left in his warranty, or in this case, like, yeah, he doesn't have like a warranty left anyway, just send it. It makes sense in that case if that is the mentality in general. Maybe this person was just wrong, but like I said, I asked 3 times to make sure. So that's really disturbing if that is how the company is viewing it. And if that is the case, I don't think it's unreasonable for me to kind of have some kind of guarantee or to know what is wrong with that and that it will be corrected. I mean, in some crazy ways, I almost feel like I've been scammed in sending that drone back. Like again, I was wondering like, well, why did you say you'll take care of it and so forth? And now you're saying, well, pay this or whatever. And at the same time, even though you do this repair or service for like, you know, whatever, $200, you send it back to still no guarantee that it'll work with any explanation. I feel like that's just a money sink basically. I mean, the only other benefit of the doubt I can think of is, again, everyone just has like, let's say like on the lower level with the customer service or the tech support, they just have like some kind of supervisor, manager, executive saying, you better follow this by the book or else you're fired. I mean, if that's the case, I mean, is that what it takes right now? To have the official vice president or someone publicly say that is the case? Like with everything I just said? Oh my goodness, I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt here. I'm trying to help the company like improve their service and stuff as well. Like I said, for any other company, they would be like, okay, let's take care of it after looking at all this, but if they're still insistent, like that's the way it is, man, something needs to change in that department. You guys find this all intriguing so far? I know if it was just me looking on the outside, I'd be super fascinated how a billion-dollar company still has this kind of, I guess, way to do the repair process or way of thinking. Also makes me wonder, how did this go on for so long with no one actually documenting it like in a very huge public way to the point where they say, okay, we'll fix this to make sure it doesn't happen again? That's kind of actually makes me wonder. If I bought this product from a night market, then that's a little different, but this is supposed to be the world leader in drones, so hopefully they follow through with it. It doesn't look too good at the moment though. All right, see you guys later.